What's up? All right.
What's
So,
up, Kev? Yep.
first off, we're gonna bring up Phil
hmm
Jackson. I'm
Got
doing
it.
it, we're doing it on the road today, but the Zen Master, new book, and it talks about
hmm
how some coaches would ramp up their players, right? Get them all
hmm
juiced
hmm
up, ready to go, and fired up. They'd be
Okay.
angry. And Phil
hmm
Jackson, on the other hand, his nickname is the Zen
hmm
Master, and
First time I
he,
heard it. I
he
know.
he he would make his players meditate before the game. So Jordan,
Wow.
Pippen, Dennis
Wow.
Rodman, and the reason
Yo,
is
that's
they'd be clear minded and they'd be able to visualize their game plan. When they came out on the floor, they were a lot more sharp and crisp because anger makes you make mistakes, right? It throws you off your game. Think about it out of sports. If think about it in any competitive thing. If you're angry, you're gonna miss a beat, right? And that advantages the other team. So he became the Zen master, and the guy's got a ton of championships to go along with it. I think he has at least 7. He might even have more. Um, so yeah, it's a good book. One of his quotes
hmm
is, "Before
hmm
enlightenment, chop wood,
hmm
carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water." And that's the quote. And the point
Can you
is,
say it again? Can you say it again? Again? We'll pull it up.
before enlightenment,
Okay.
chop wood, carry water. After
Enli-
enlightenment, chop wood, carry water.
Okay. Chop wood, carry wood. Okay, got it.
And basically, he's saying, to stay focused on a task, and rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, focus on
hmm
what you're doing. And that's a ball right there. So another one,
hmm
and we'll skip to the third one, but the second one is Einstein. Einstein once described his rules of work. 1, out of clutter, find simplicity. 2,
hmm
from discord, find harmony. And 3, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. That's from Einstein, which Phil Jackson took and put in his book.
I
Um,
just to let you
what do you
know, the
think?
book is called 11 Rings. All right, that's
Okay,
what
so
his
he's got
quote's called.
11.
Yeah,
All right, he's got more than 10.
yeah, it's 11
I
rings,
think
bro. Yeah, that's the
maybe
book.
he has 7 with the bowls.
11 rings.
The
That's a tough
Lakers.
title. That's a tough
Yeah,
title, right?
yeah, for
11 rings,
sure.
right?
That's
That's a
what
tough, tough title,
everyone's
right?
chasing. All right, so another one.
Uh-huh.
Things fall apart is a kind of
Uh-huh.
testing and also a kind of healing. We think
Mm.
that the point is to pass the test or to overcome the problem, but the truth is that things don't really get solved. They come together again and fall apart again. It's just like that. The healing comes from letting there be room for all of this to happen, room for grief, for relief, for misery, for joy. What do you think about that?
It's I don't know if you could see it on the screen, but I'm looking at the quote right now.
Yeah.
I mean this is a very mature, what do you call it? Mature
Deep.
yeah, it is very deep, bro. I mean, like this could have many interpretations. You got to elaborate. I mean, you know what I mean? Like this says I can look at this at several angles, you know?
So what's one?
So pretty much what he's saying is you know, what he's saying is that falling apart is part of the game. There's no way avoiding it, right? And if you look at it from that perspective, it becomes a form of healing. You know what I mean? Well, that's what I'm looking at it. Like he's pretty much saying that
Yeah, I
it
think also
mm,
what you're saying to add is that you can't control everything.
can't control everything, right?
You can't try to control everything, and if you do, you're missing out on the problem.
He continues that quote, Kev, by saying the healing after he says they come together again and fall apart again. It's just like that. The healing comes from letting there be room for all of this to happen. Room for grief, room for relief, room for misery, and room for joy. What does that mean? The healing
Meaning,
comes. when they're let
Meaning,
room.
yeah, when you're not overthinking and trying to
Mm.
control every aspect of something, that's how you grow from it, right?
So you're saying just
Somebody
let it
said,
happen.
correct. Like in planting, like a tree.
Okay.
When a tree goes through stress, it
Mm.
grows bigger, right? Meaning the seasons and when it stretches, it actually grows bigger and better, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he's saying that to let things happen instead of trying to control every freaking little thing, which a lot of people do, and you're missing the whole point.
I think a lot of people are just programmed that way. They don't even know it.
Yeah, it's
You know?
human nature.
Yeah,
It's human nature.
yeah, yeah. They don't
But
even know.
but
They're not
but
even
there's
one.
some things that are out of your control. Um, I seen a quote or somebody say something that anxiety comes from not knowing the
Mm-hmm.
problem, uh, you know, not knowing the solution to a problem that exists, the
Mm.
confusion in it. When
Yeah,
people are trying to, something's going on, they don't quite know what it is, they don't
mm-hmm.
quite know what the solution is to it, and that creates anxiety for somebody.
Absolutely.
Um, but and so not having that control. All right. So, what do you think about meditation? I know we talked about. You said you were trying to do some breathing techniques. You still doing that or not?
I haven't been able to do it consistent. Like when I talk about consistent, I'm talking about like 7 days linear. Straight. Like I'll forget a day I haven't. No, I haven't been able to. I'll do it like today. I'll do it tomorrow, right? And then the third day, it'll just reprogramming. Kev is like you need. It's just it's very It's like
Yeah.
I'm
No.
trying. But
It's not easy to
it's not
freaking.
like in the movie, Kev. It's not like in the movies, all right. To reprogram the way you are at this age, you know what I mean.
I wouldn't
Ninety
say
five
I
percent.
wouldn't say you're reprogramming. You're just reprogramming is different. That's like,
Uh,
for instance, these talked about it previously. These soldiers get brainwashed. They go somewhere, they go through hell. They're put through such tough period. So many things happening, stress that they break down, and when they break down, when they go through that phase after that stress, where they're given relief, they're built back up and they're made to be a certain way, right? And they said soldiers were coming back from some of these wars, and that was happening. Um, funny thing
mm,
is in everyday life, people could be brainwashed, meaning regular, ordinary people. And that's a big word, but people get influenced, and the way to not is to I think have a strong mentality. Believe in the burpee god, right? The gym. Believe in breathing techniques. Everything, meditation. These are all counter things that keep you one with yourself and not for those external influences. That's the bad thing about all of what we just talked about
mm-hmm,
is when that happens, that's an
mm-hmm.
external influence on this person. Somebody
I know.
else's agenda trying to guide somebody. And that's the horrendous thing about it. They train soldiers in the military to recognize these things. And guess what the number one thing is? Meditation. To use that to counter sort of those someone trying to do that. Um, so it's an effective tool, and I think it keeps you locked in because stress and different things, that's what throws you off, right? Um, when you are constantly moved up and down, right? Just old things,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
common life. You go through a day, you go to the bank, you go here, you go there, and just little things move you up and down, right?
Getting into a car accident,
Correct. These are
right?
these are
Yeah,
all
there's
things that are not equilibriums. that you go through in everyday life and throws you off. You got to try to keep that even. It's easier said than done, but I think meditation's a tool everyone should use, and that's why we talked about that book, Meditations, right? Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus rule,
I mean, that's a tool for anybody, right? In the thick
100%.
of it, if you pick up that book in the thick of it, I mean, you're good. You're gonna be good. You're gonna get stronger.
What I gather, Kev, is meditation is a skill. You know, like certain people with practice, they
I
can just
agree.
quiet their mind in a second. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you know what I mean. They could just
yeah,
silence the mind. It's a
yeah.
skill. I know.
That's a
You know,
skill. I
it's.
remember, I used to try to, have this thing where if I go into a meeting, whatever the hell is bothering me,
Mhm.
I try to, you know, block that out for the
Silence the
moment.
mind. Silence
Yeah,
the mind. To
yeah, for
suppress. Yeah,
at least a moment, because if you bring that in, not good. I once
man.
went into a meeting and like, just a lot going on, blah blah. Drove there, was thinking about it the whole time, and then you go in, and that carries forward. You know, whereas you got to try to block it out at least for that period, so you could you know be in the game like Phil Jackson does, right, to his athletes. Dennis Rodman, the guy's a
Yeah,
wild guy. If you can have that guy focused, grabbing 20 rebounds, you're doing something right.
Kev. I didn't know that the Bulls in the '90s were doing meditations. I mean, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah,
it's the first I'm hearing of
I
it.
don't think too many people knew because
Right,
he didn't want to
right,
give his secret sauce. But now he's retired and he wrote a book
right, right. He doesn't
and
want to
he's
give it.
revealing it.
He didn't want. He didn't want to give his secret sauce because everybody
Now,
would have done it.
I think
Everybody
it
would have done it.
I think it works in most sports. I don't know if it would work in football. That's a great. Certain times you need that anger. I think. I don't know if it works in football, but baseball, soccer, those are more. I think calmer. You want to be able to see clearly. Baseball is a
I
game of strategy, right? You take the
yeah.
player out, you move a shift. I think that is the closest to, it's been taken over by mathematics now. It's all numbers, on base percentage. They have all these statisticians. I think that's the closest to business, baseball. You know,
Okay.
is how the players are moved around, the rosters are
Mm-hmm.
filled, the positions. You got 9 players. You want your best lineup. Now they put the best player in first. He bats first, so they can get the most at bats. These are all
Mm-hmm.
calculated moves.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's see what else we got. So
Oh, well, listen. While we're on 11 rings, um, as I was looking at the quote, can you see the screen?
yeah,
Look at this quote. Let me read this for me. This is pretty sick. He says, "I didn't. Phil Jackson, got immersed in Buddhism, right? He
mm-hmm.
studied this stuff. That look what he says. The Dalai Lama calls it the enemy's gift. From a Buddhist perspective, battling with enemies can help you develop greater compassion for and tolerance of others. In order to practice sincerely and to develop patience, the Dalai Lama says, you need someone who willfully hurts you. Therefore, these people give us real opportunities to practice these things. What do you think?
I think that plays
this is a this
into
this is a this is a deep
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
evolution, right? Like, hey,
I
what do you
think that
think, bro?
plays
This is,
into to that PBD
dude.
book. Enemies. Remember the book about you know you need an enemy.
Yeah, yeah.
Forget PBD's book about forget the exact title, but basically saying that these things drive you, right? And
Sure, but do you think they're necessary, Kev? I mean, I
yes,
understand.
yes,
Oh man.
that's what the book's about. Is that they're
Mm.
necessary, and that certain ones are they're going to drive you, but I think certain ones are going to bring out certain traits in you. Some
But
of
that's
them
not
could
always.
bring out
That's not.
good, and some of them could bring
Yeah.
out bad.
Exactly.
When you look
Exactly.
bad,
Exactly.
when you look
Exactly.
bad
Exactly.
and you feel bad, those might not be the ones you prefer
Bro, some
because it
enemies will
gets
drive you.
nasty. But there's ones that will drive you positively. Yes,
Yeah, but
there's
that's not
different
always the
phases.
case.
There's different
Yeah, but
phases
Kev,
too.
yeah, that's not always the case, right? Like, what I mean, people, you understand what I'm saying, right? It doesn't always turn out where having an enemy, what I mean, it could turn violent. Like people hold on to stuff, Kev. You know what I mean? People hold on to stuff. People take things personal. So that's
Correct.
very, I
Yes,
understand if he would have said rivals,
but
but
hold on,
enemies.
hold on. You
Hmm.
don't go in with that mindset. You don't go with
Okay,
that
yeah.
mindset that because then you don't have the mindset for that battle, right? If you're
Hmm.
going in that hey, it could turn in, you don't have the mindset for it, but you just stay
I
away
agree.
from it, right?
I agree.
But but you're right. There's different types, and there's obviously, but the point is not all that. The point is that it could drive you further, and it could be good for both, right? And and
Yes.
and, and you're
If
comparing
for,
it. You're comparing it to like military battles, but compare it to sports. Jordan
yeah.
had Magic Johnson. Jordan had
Hmm.
Kobe later. So that made him better, as a player. It made him push a little bit harder. He might, you know, go for 50 one night because, the other guy did. So things like that.
Yeah. So I say it is essential when
Here's another
both.
thing. It could
Mm,
set you back a little bit
right.
in
Exactly.
time. In time, it could set you
Yeah.
back a few years.
But
And
if but if
Patrick
both.
David alluded to that. That
Mm,
the wrong one could set you back a little bit,
I,
some
mhm,
time.
right.
But there's no way to some of these things just happen. You don't
But
you don't pick a guy out of the crowd and say, "Hey, I'm in this industry or I'm in this sport, and that's going
yeah,
to be
you're
our
my
enemy."
sworn. Yeah,
It just
you're my sworn
happens.
enemy. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
No,
not.
but you know what I think, Kev? You know what I think? I think if both parties recognize what Phil is saying, like recognize that they are necessary for each other. So, like if me and you became enemies out of blue, you know what I mean? But we recognize that you know what I mean? That we need each other to be enemies, so we both can elevate.
Yeah,
That is rare. That is beautiful, right? That's like when people go to the higher limits of life. Remember, Kev, life is like
the
this, right?
the bad
People need to be up
ones.
here. You
Yeah,
know?
the bad ones also are when egos get in the way. You know, and
Yeah.
it's easy for that to
Right.
happen because
Right.
it's just like keep trying to top it, and then that's not a good cycle. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It takes
Phil's
emotional maturity. You gotta be enlightened. Look what Phil Jackson did, bro. I'm like I mean, I knew he would do this, bro. He studied really deep into Buddhist philosophy, the Dalai Lama, right? Inner like
Here's the thing.
ancient teachings,
You wouldn't
ancient shit.
even recognize him as somebody
No,
that is that
nope,
guy that's gonna
nope,
sort of have
nope,
that arch enemy.
nope,
He's
no.
he's more of a peaceful guy,
Right.
but he
Because
still
he
wanted to
mastered his
win.
ego.
Still wanted to
Right.
win.
Because he mastered his ego, right? I would say,
Also,
right?
yeah, yeah,
That's why he's a
yeah.
peaceful
And
guy. Yeah.
he kept his style. It's easy to get dragged into somebody else's style, right?
Yeah.
But if he sort of kept his own, which is different.
I
But
mean, Kev, can you imagine the ancient teachings that he gave to Jordan, that he gave to Scottie Pippen, right? That he gave to
yeah,
fucking Dennis Rodman,
Kobe,
right?
Kobe,
Right,
Shaq,
the ancient, like that inner techniques. Can you imagine?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, can you imagine, man? I mean, like,
Jordan and Kobe are the two ultimate competitors, and you need a good coach for that. Tom Brady too. You need a good coach to bring that out. Most of the best usually have that, right? And that also takes us to mentors, right? Mentors is
yeah,
also like a coach.
the Kev, mentorship is, I would say, essential. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Essential, bro.
yeah,
Essential. Like having the right mentor in the industry is it's essential, bro. This is where everybody's like this. You're up here with a mentor. That's how I look at it. You
yeah.
know?
No, for sure. And
Yeah,
and
that's how I
you
look.
you want to give credit where it's due. You know, you don't want to sort of break that relationship or chain, but mentors
Mentorship
are
is
necessary. Yeah,
yeah.
and all right. So in terms of anything else,
One last thing in turn, just to wrap it up in mentorship.
yeah,
Imagine what's going to happen. You're going to have AI as the mentors for human. Can you see that?
yep,
Yeah,
Here's
you can
another
see that,
thing.
right? You can see that,
Here's
right?
another thing we were talking about earlier that
It's hilarious.
people being swayed, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we talked about how soldiers are trained to meditate and aren't to recognize that type of behavior, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people that are most susceptible
Tell me.
are people that that sort of put a lot of blame on themselves, or they think in absolutes. They think in black and white. It's either this or that. Those are most likely to be vulnerable to
Stubborn.
that. I
Stubborn.
wouldn't say stubborn. I would say weak. Weak, meaning you put blame on yourself, and you sort of just think it's either this way or that way. And if somebody says this, okay, it's this. So a little bit weak, they're more vulnerable. You know, but that's what meditation, that's what belief in greater power, God, right, helps. But these are just things to know. Um,
I mean,
and
like I said, when it comes to God, I don't think external. Like, if you look at Phil Jackson, he studied a Buddhist philosophy, and that has nothing to do with an external God. That's all
no,
about
no, no,
within.
no, no, no.
You know what I mean?
Hold
It
on,
was.
hold on. External is a word, Lucy. I wouldn't say God. God is external. External means it's me and you, right? We're talking.
Mm-hmm.
There's a third party
Mm-hmm.
sharing influence, not God. God's in everyone's life, at least in their own way,
Yeah,
right? Everyone's leading
yeah,
their
exactly.
own.
Yeah, yeah. But
So that's
see,
not external.
but
External
that's
is a
what.
third party sort of that's coming in and manipulating us.
But Kev, that's where
That's different.
people. Kev, that
That's what you want to avoid. You want to
that's
avoid
that's
external.
my point. My point, because most
Yes.
of society, they're misconflating that. They
Yes.
are making it as a third party in this
That's
conversation. You know what I mean?
no,
Which is
no, that's the horrendous part. If you
that's the
have
random
that
part.
happening, you have a third party that's trying to guide something or somebody. That's the problem with all that stuff. Is that's when gets it gets a little bit bad. So you got to be trained to recognize that, and also snap out of it. But it's susceptible to everyone. Listen, we live in an age where influence is everywhere. Misinformation is everywhere. It's incredible, right? And communication is important, awareness is important, but we're going to talk about what's going on with oil right now, right? It recently dropped.
All
You
right,
know,
tell me.
oil recently dropped like 70. It's trading between 75 and 80 WTI crude. I think it
What does
came
that
back.
mean?
It's
So
the
you
price
explain it
of
first.
it's the price of barrel of
Okay.
1 barrel of
Okay.
oil WTI
Got it.
crude.
Got it. Okay.
So right now it went to 75 early in the week, climbed. I think it's at
Okay.
79. It's at 75 now. You're looking at
So,
crude oil. All right, so there's
yeah.
different versions. There's WTI, and the one you're looking at is the futures.
Well, what's
So
the difference, Kev? Just so you can break it up for us. Well,
um,
what do you like,
it's
what
it's
is that?
it's it's one is a futures that trades
Okay.
off the future
Got it.
value of oil, and one is the
Got it.
actual
Got it.
cost of a barrel physical if you took it. But
All right.
for instance,
All
we'll
right.
we'll go
All
off the
right.
futures 75. That's on the lower end. If you look at that, it was probably higher, right? Go back to the year. Go to 1 year chart.
Okay.
See, it was as
1 year,
high as
sure.
80, 90. Below 100 is okay. You start to get above 100, and it starts to
What
affect
happens?
inflation.
Well, yeah,
It
okay.
hits the pocket or more. But
Hmm.
they tend to keep it down, right?
Okay,
Supply
so
and
Kev.
demand. They want to make money,
Okay.
so they don't want
Yeah.
it to
So
go
yeah.
too high. But let me just say
Kev,
this.
like.
Let me finish
Mm,
before you
mm,
ask that. So
yeah.
misinformation, right?
Mm,
Somebody asked me today.
mm,
They said the price of oil is going to go higher, right? And this
mm,
was a call with somebody that follows the space and
mm,
you know that that not a professional, but so I think they were probably told this, right? They ran into
mm.
somebody, they told this is how information travels. That's why you always got to have good sources. You got to read the journal. You got to read these good. So anyway, they said, all right, hey, oil's definitely going to go higher. That this conflict, in the Middle East, what do you think? And I said, The price is volatile, and it could go up, it could go down. But it just came out the other day that they might have a treaty. They might have a peace treaty between Israel and
A ceasefire.
Hezbollah. Yeah.
Yeah, ceasefire.
So if that happens, that's why it came off. That's why it came off $80, 79. It came off recently.
Oh, I see.
Before that, look, it was in Ohio. So it's susceptible to that type of stuff. So when this was saying, hey, it's definitely, I was going to say, the news is saying otherwise. What's definitely going to happen is volatility. It's going to go up and down. It's going to fluctuate. But to say that, there's this, conflict's going to erupt when they're trying to work it out, I wouldn't necessarily say that. So that's misinformation. That is a person that is educated, follows, but might bump into another person that shares this with him. That person might have believed it. And that's how sometimes things spread. And everyone's susceptible to it, right? And, that, is indirect influence at the micro level, right? But you always got to cross-reference everything, and that's just how it is. But and that's also why you speak to people and you work with people, right?
And you have advisors, pretty
Correct,
much.
because
That's
if
why you.
this
Right.
person was so fixed on that, I mean, but the price is saying otherwise. You got to follow price, and you got to obviously dictate both. I'm not making one conclusion or the other. I'm just saying is they're trying to work something out. That's why it moved off.
Yep.
And if you think the opposite, you're not looking at the facts. And this is just probably just like I said, someone bumping in, someone saying that. So we live in an age of misinformation with social media, with everything so connected that you have to have your own filter. I remember New York City. Okay, is right. New York City, I think in the last 2 years, crime's up. You see a lot of these things. After COVID, you heard a lot of these same stories. Sometime in between, things sort of calmed down. I
Yep.
remember somebody told me, "Hey, New York City." They came to New York City, and they're like, "I thought it was really bad here." Like I thought it was really
Yeah.
bad here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Where'd you hear that?" Oh, someone told me.
TikTok.
And yeah, but you gotta always you gotta have your own sort of
I agree.
mind. You gotta check. You don't just run with something, right? But everyone's susceptible to it to
I
some
know.
extent. If you're
At,
not
at least,
aware,
at least in the beginning, everybody is susceptible. In the beginning, they are. Even me.
everyone's
In the
susceptible
beginning.
to
In the
some
beginning,
extent,
yes.
more people than others. But you don't want to be all right. So here's something. There's a term for it. Basically, you don't want to be a cynic where you don't believe anything. Everything's bullshit. You don't want to become that. And
That's
you got
nihilism. That's nihilism.
there's
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
extremes.
Nihilism. Yeah.
And then you don't want to be the guy that just goes at everything. You want to have a balance. But what happens is when too much misinformation comes out, right? This is happening in the media. Is people don't know what to believe, and it almost
Un-
it dilutes the good information, and they sort of stop believing everything. And that's good for the bad guys, right? Or that's good for the ones spreading the bullshit
manipulating. The
and the
ones manipulating. Yeah.
misinformation.
Yeah.
So you flood
That's their
with this
goal.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they benefit in that way
Yeah. You're
by
unable to think, Kev,
a
when you
bunch
get
of
that much
yes,
information. Yeah.
correct, a
You're
bunch
unable to
of
think.
different things that have to be thought about. If you get flooded with them, eventually you shut down the true ones, and that's how you overwhelm the system, and that's what they do in society, in modern day with all these different topics, right? But you got to have that filter, and you got to, I think, unplug. Meditation's a great one, and
Or
recenter.
unplug, right? Right?
Unplug, yeah.
Unplug from all devices for like a day, for like 6
Unplug
hours.
from all
Unplug.
devices, all information, and recenter, right? Go to the gym, run, whatever it is, and
Take a
then
drive,
come
right? Just go
back.
to the beach,
Yeah,
right? Go to the
yeah.
beach by yourself. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and that allows you to, I think, recenter. But This is a new age of society where you have all this stuff coming at you constantly. It's never been like that before. You never had Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of this stuff constantly.
Snapchat, TikTok,
From a young age, 12, 13, 14, 15, they have,
YouTube.
iPads or whatever. It's ridiculous.
It's
Um,
iPads are required in school in like first grade. Like
yeah,
children, you know what I mean? Like it's a screen now.
and what you get is you also get big companies that are pushing out their products.
Mm-hmm.
That you see something, whether it's toy commercials or clothing, it's a machine. And they all benefit on it. So I don't know the solution other than awareness, right? The funniest thing is this.
Mm-hmm.
We're sort of going on like a rant. But the funniest thing is this, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
see a sign out in public, all right, you see some of these signs where they're written a certain way to go viral, and people
Mm-hmm.
take a picture and repost it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and usually it's like a opinionated sign, right, where it's obnoxious,
Mm-hmm.
so people will like repost it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're furthering whatever that message is. It could be a small one, or it could be a big one, but people automatically do it, and they're not even conscious of it.
You're
You
part of the
might
problem.
Correct. You might have good lighting somewhere. You might be walking in the city, and there might be good lighting in a bathroom or in the city. You might stop to take a selfie with your significant other. In the background, there might be a poster board you might not even be aware of that's spread some, propaganda or whatever, and people aren't even aware. That's how these things go. Think about meme accounts. Remember you mentioned the other day that meme accounts might be sort of regulated, right? Where they can't switch.
Parodies. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
parodies
yeah.
from AI. Yeah, parodies.
So
Digital
that
parodies.
okay, that is another fabric that is used to influence people, right? These things go viral, and certain messages, whatever they are, they build up, and you know, memes are huge. These accounts have 50 million followers, and
Global.
it's
Global.
yeah,
You got people from global, not
yeah,
just in America, bro.
yeah.
Global, right? Japan, Thailand, Vietnam, right? Global.
So
Right.
what's the solution? I'll tell you what I think, and you
What do
tell
you
me.
think?
But I think
Tell
the
me.
solution is this: two people talking is podcast, more people doing it. That's a solution.
No, Kev, I mean, listen,
Because you
you gotta under
feed, if all this info is out there, you feed more info, right?
Kev, I mean, listen, this is
And you
one thing
try
I
to
would
be accurate and you know and straightforward.
yeah, so Kev, I gotta say this thing, right? I gotta give it to Donald Trump 2016 because, bro, we've all, even me, have been fucking inundated with all misinformation, right? And like you said, I get all my intel, 99% of my intel from podcasts. I'd rather leave it on and learn something critical, right? Critical from my, you know what I mean? I demand intellectual, like, you know, learning. I demand it. I demand knowing stuff that I didn't know, like consequential stuff. And you're right. Podcasting, they didn't expect this. The big media, Kev. What do you think?
Mm-mm.
They
I
didn't. They
think
weren't prepared for this. They
it
weren't
dem
prepared for this.
yeah, I think it democratizes um, information. It spreads it out rather than just a few subsets, and I think that's healthy. I think what Twitter is good. Anything where more people have voice to share info, whatever it is. It could be about anything, right?
But it could be about something very crucial to one person on this globe, right? And you just like help that person out, literally,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right? It's out there, right? The info. Somebody's going through something. Next thing you know, they know how to go through it because one person. Think about that, right? Because they heard one person. You're right, Kev. I mean, there's no, yeah, like you don't understand. People will rather, even me included. I know people that just leave the podcast on, just in the background. You know what I mean? Just learning stuff subconsciously. You know that? Just learning, just filling in the blanks to their
All right.
knowledge.
That brings us to our next thing: books.
Yeah.
How do you get your information?
What do you mean?
Reading, listening, What do you like?
Today, I would say it's about 80% listening, 20% reading right now. Yeah.
That's why you got to check out Audible, man.
No, yeah. Audible, yeah. Yeah, you're
It's
right.
great. It's good stuff.
Yeah, no, but yeah, 80%. Yeah, yeah. Reading is definitely necessary. But Kev, I'm burnt out, man. I went to law school, bro. I did a lot. Like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
That shit was hard.
but you also learned how to take in information. You learn what works for you. You know.
But I'm just saying. I lost. You know what I mean? Like, bro, they gave it to me. I knew that they would, but to be honest, I'm just an average intelligence person. You know what I mean? Like I could, like, you know what I mean? I'm not
Nah,
like my dad.
I
No,
think you
Kev.
I think you're higher.
Okay, maybe
Don't
I'm above high, but I'm not like
don't
my
sell
dad.
yourself short.
I know, but I'm not like my dad because Kev, I struggled in law school because it was just heavy stuff, bro. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like reading. So that's why podcasting, right? Associating a human being with the information. I'm telling you, Kev, podcasting. This is gonna be
Well, listen, there's
a
two types of humans. There's humans
multi-billion
that
dollar
can't.
industry. Yeah.
Yeah. There's two types of humans. There's humans that are great, and there's many types of humans.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, there's humans that are great at taking in the info, and
Mm-hmm.
but don't break it down as good. Right? There's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
smart
Okay.
analysts in
Yeah.
finance, for instance, analysts that are very
Mm-hmm.
good at putting all the pieces and putting it into a professional format. But in terms
But
of
they can't
conveying it,
articulate.
no,
Yeah.
not many are funny, have character,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
and can deliver it. There's a few, and they're really good, but most of them are too bland, and you know, it doesn't
Doesn't
convey.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, but
but
my point is that look, my point is, Kev, is that I believe podcasting is going to be a multi-billion-dollar, like
it already
industry.
is.
It already is, but I'm saying where the sole mechanism for acquiring information will be through podcasting, different
Yeah,
types. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know if you
We
see this, but
said
I
it.
heard
We
about.
said it. Everyone on
But
LinkedIn will have a podcast one day.
you said it. No, you said that. That's
Yeah,
a prediction. That's interesting. Yeah,
I think
you
it.
put. Yeah. Okay,
I think so.
Kev. Real quick. Just a few days ago, I wanted to bring it. Yo, can you believe this? CNN is launching a digital paywall, charging users to read articles for the first time.
Yeah, yeah.
Kev,
A
are
lot of
these
them,
are
a
these,
lot
are
of them
these
do that.
people like out? No, I mean they're starting it now. Are these people out of touch? I mean, like, do they live on another planet? Like, they really think people are gonna pay? Not
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
everything out there. Like
yeah.
CNN of all of all
Listen,
media.
you
Like,
know what?
hmm,
You know what
tell me,
though?
tell me.
Um,
This is
you
amazing.
know,
When I heard, I didn't know. I couldn't believe. Like, they
they'll
really.
get. Listen, they'll get their people though.
Yeah,
They'll
but
st- they'll get people to pay. I mean, look, there's people that hold. I mean, very obviously lenient, but there is
mm,
still a group of people that like to look at both. That's the best way. Look at both points. Look at CNN and
yeah,
look at Fox,
got
and
it.
then create an opinion. That's the best way if you're looking at politics. But they'll get people to do it. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, but
you know,
Kev, I mean,
look at the
paying for
journal.
it.
No,
I know, but
people
Kev,
still.
you
I
told
like. I got plenty. I got
Kev.
so many subscriptions. I can't even count. All news. So people
Yeah,
will
but
do
you're
it.
in the. I know, but Kev, you're in a different caliber of profession. You know what I mean. I'm talking about for the average
The average
fucking
people, yeah,
Joe,
they
like the
might.
average Joe, like
I
wow,
don't know why they're doing it now. You
right
know,
today. I mean, this month they're
you
starting
know,
in January.
yeah.
They announced it.
I don't know why
Like
now. Yeah,
what?
but
Like, are they out of touch? They really like don't have anybody. They're out of touch, bro. I mean, if you know what I would do if I was CNN, I would
you know
send
what it.
people
You
out
know what?
doing podcasts.
So you know what this tells you.
What?
This
Tell me.
this tells you that their paper delivery
Mhm.
sales are down. Now people aren't
Very
reading
down.
it so much; they're
Yeah.
going online. Now,
Yeah.
traditionally online it was free for a lot of
Hmm.
these newspapers. So if you wanted to get it delivered, you had to pay whatever that was, but you
Yep.
could go on the website and read it. They're saying, look,
Hmm.
80% of our business is going there, maybe
Right.
75. So we gotta make money off that chunk. So they're
Okay.
switching it up and they're putting it behind a paywall. Some of these are big companies. That they got to explain. They got to make money. So
Yeah. I'm just saying, like you said, now. And Kev, real quick before we move on, I just want you to look at this. You remember you brought up oil, right? You broke it down first, WTI and stuff. Check this out. You said something about over $100. In June 2022, it was $118, Kev. Okay?
Hey, yeah,
You heard? You
yeah,
heard?
yeah.
You said, remember when you said over 100, it can affect? Think of it in June 2022, okay? And Kev, check this out. In March of 2020, it was $22 a barrel. Can you believe that?
March of
I mean,
2020.
that's,
Well, that was
yeah,
COVID.
March of
That was
2020.
that was
COVID,
COVID.
yeah.
The world was going into
Yeah, yeah.
shock. That was, you
Hmm.
had. I mean, that's
So
very
it
cheap.
dropped that low? Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying. That's
mean,
very
if
cheap,
you,
right?
I mean,
That's what,
I mean, listen, when COVID first hit, nobody knew what the hell was going on. The whole world locked up, and if no one's going to
closed.
drive, if no one's going to drive to do anything, you
Got
know,
it. Got it. Got it.
price of
Got it.
oil is
Okay.
going to go
Okay.
down.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
so
Okay.
all of
Got
these
it.
things
I
went
didn't
way
even take that
down.
into
The
consideration.
cruise lines way down.
Hmm.
All of them.
I didn't even.
You know who benefits from low oil? The
Who?
airlines.
Right.
If people still flying, but nobody was flying either, so everything was down.
No. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
that's why.
$22. I mean,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
you know where
listen,
it is today? Amazing.
the world was in shock.
Amazing, right?
And then
I'm just saying,
no,
how cheap was that?
I think where it is
Right? How cheap?
where it is today is where they want it. For them to make money,
74, 75.
for them to
Mm-hmm.
make money, they want hovering in a certain range. They don't want it too expensive. They don't want it too cheap. They make money on their spreads, and I think it's came down recently, and it's good. And
Mm-hmm.
as long as it doesn't go above 100, you're not affecting
Mm-hmm.
inflation.
Okay. Right.
So you're okay. If it starts to go above it, then that gets felt at the pocket.
So Kev, with that, what you're saying pretty much, in 2022 of June, it was $118 a barrel. So you're saying that was the highest point in inflation, June, like 2020, mid 2022, right? It was
Uh,
118. So you're saying, right? It's
that was
over
the
100,
highest
like
point for oil.
in the last 5 years.
You got yeah,
In the last 5 years.
yeah. Well, you got to break it down. Everything was up. You look at the oranges. You look at
2022.
Supermarket.
Summer
I mean,
2022.
everything was way up. Yeah,
Summer
and
2022.
and
Got
that
it.
was
All right.
coming. Here's why. Here's why.
Mm.
That was coming after a long period of stimulus that we had kept on. Okay, now get this.
2 years. Yeah, 2 years.
Putin, as the technician he is, knew we needed to come off stimulus, right? And
Yeah.
what did he do?
Yeah.
He launched an attack around this time on
Smart.
Ukraine. That's when it started, and when that happened, it really put us into a bind in the U.S. because we wanted to come off stimulus, and he just did that. You cannot now do that because there's uncertainty, and he made oil go up. So he did it at the right time to shock the system, and that's why you got that spike. And yeah, he knew that. You got to understand the economy. You got to understand how these countries move to do that move. Now get this.
Got it.
Putin, this
Mhm.
guy, and on a separate note. So I'm just saying that he understood all that when at the timing. Because they waited, and he did it at that time.
Yep.
Putin, I just seen the news. He knocked down his home. It was $1 billion house in Russia.
Yeah, it's like a villa. I know. Yeah, it's like a villa. I heard. Yeah, it's like a villa.
He was scared of drone attacks, and I guess more out in the open. So he knocked it all down. Imagine a $1 billion home. That's ridiculous.
In Russia. In Russia, Kev.
Yeah.
In Russia, right? In Russia. Right?
And
yeah. He
just knocked it down. He's gonna, whatever, build it back somewhere else. But craziness.
Yeah. So basically, like in 2020 March it was $22, and then 2 years later, in the summer of 2022, it was at the highest point, 118. And Kev, ever since then, it's been floating around $70 to $80.
Yeah,
even today.
That's good. That's by design. They want that's where
Okay,
they
got it, by
want it.
design.
I think without
All
any
right, all right,
any shocks, it will hang around there.
right.
Now, if
That's where they want it.
The Middle East
Yeah.
gets together, you got Jordan
Uh huh.
and Tehran
Turkey,
yeah,
Turkey.
and if they band together and they say, hey, nobody fly into my space,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to help out Israel. If they start, if tensions do flare up, maybe
Mm-hmm.
affects the, war always affects the price of oil because it could affect
It shoots it up. It
transportation.
shoots it up. You're
Yeah,
saying war always shoots up
it's good
oil.
for the price of oil. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So if that
Yeah.
happens, we'll go up a little bit. I don't think much. I think they're gonna keep it anchored lower or try to keep it down because we're coming into a period now where we had a lot of high rates and we're transitioning. All of these countries are now
Mm-hmm.
lowering their rates.
Yep.
Japan,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, China just did it. Japan has
Mm-hmm.
it pretty low. China just did
Mm-hmm.
stimulus. And
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing of misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said, "Hey, China's not doing as well." They heard it out there, and I said, "No, China just did a round of stimulus. Actually,
Really?
their assets
Wow.
are going way up now because of it.
Kev, yeah,
They
look at
did it.
the screen.
They did it to help their economy.
Yo, Kev,
Now
look at this.
Europe is doing it, so
Wow.
everyone is switching from this deficit mind to this more
Mm-hmm.
accommodate mind."
Okay, so Kev, check this out. China at Bloomberg.com. China investors expect 283 billion of new stimulus this weekend.
Yeah,
Oh, they're getting paid.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, right. They're gonna have a good weekend, Kev.
yeah.
These Chinese, they're gonna have a good weekend, bro. They're gonna have a
Mm-hmm.
good weekend. Wow,
Yeah. So
wow.
they're
It's from Bloomberg.
getting into a transition now from worrying about spending to let's get things going again. And this
More
happens over
wow.
and over until the end of time. These cycles.
Yeah. All right.
You know,
Okay.
I'll say one last thing on this topic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So going back to 2022, going back to COVID, when something
Mm.
happens, whatever it
Yeah.
is, let's say COVID,
Yeah.
what governments do, big governments
Mm-hmm.
step in
Mm-hmm.
and they want to accommodate people. They don't want people nervous. So what do? They give everyone checks. They stimulate things, right? And it's to calm down everyone. It's to calm down
Yeah.
everyone. So when that happens, you stimulate the economy and you calm down everyone, right? And then
Great
eventually
book.
you got to come out of that. And eventually you have to now come off that stimulus and you got to raise rates and you go through
Mm-hmm.
these cycles every few years. It happened over and over until the end of time,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're back to, we raise rates coming out of that long period of COVID in 2022. Now
Mm-hmm.
we raise rates and now we're sort of easing back and going more towards easing. But yeah, these things just happen over and over. And that's just how it is. And it's good for asset prices when they lower rates. So now they're doing that.
It's good for
Um,
investors, Kev. Pretty much what you're
it's
saying.
good when you own assets, yeah.
No, to
And
an investor, right? Is it? It's
equity
great for investors, right?
investors,
Yeah.
any
Got it.
type of hard asset could be gold, it could be Bitcoin, and anything that is benefits from a lower interest rate, right?
What about bondholders?
But bonds, not
Bondholders, yeah.
yeah. So
No.
bonds, typically when interest rates are lowered, right?
Yeah.
Bonds
Yeah. Yeah.
compete with them.
Okay,
So
got it. All right. All right.
you
Got it.
know,
See, I didn't know that. Okay.
you
When
know,
rates are lowered, okay, got it.
but since rates were so high for a long time, even bonds will benefit a little bit, But
Bonds.
when rates get too high, then people are getting 5% on a CD. They're not going to buy bonds, right?
Mm.
So
Right. Right. Yeah. Right.
they
Yeah.
compete with it. So then when they lower rates, yeah, even bonds get a little bit of relief from that. So all assets really, you know. Um, so they have an inverse relationship. You know,
Bonds and securities, pretty much,
no, bonds and interest rates.
and interest rates. Got it.
So
Okay.
interest rates
Bonds and
going down, bonds do benefit, but equities and other securities benefit more. And look,
more.
we're not giving advice here. We're just talking broadly, right?
No. No. Yeah. I'm just as
Yeah,
a layman.
yeah,
I'm just.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
So
Okay. Yeah.
back to, you got anything else you want to add? No, no.
No, Kev, I think this is very informative. I mean,
Yeah, let's see
so
if there's
far,
anything
right?
else. All right, so one last
Yeah,
thing.
I don't want to add another topic. We could save it for next week. A
All
little
right,
fat. You know what I mean?
no. I
I want to
want you
keep
to
it.
throw in what you said. The watches.
Okay, all right. So, all right, check this out. So, Kev, listen. When I started making a little bit of money, right? Like 2020. I got a job and stuff. I started getting into watches, right? Omega and stuff. So I've noticed that
Love
people that I dealt
Omegas,
with,
right? Omega's a
yeah,
good
because
watch, good
I,
value.
I like that blue. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, they're $3,000 though, right? So like it's
Yeah,
but that's like
it ranges. It goes from three to 15. They
the
got
15. But
you know they
yeah,
got some.
so okay, so check this out. So I've dealt with a lot of people, right? People that I know, and they're in business. They do pretty well, real estate, whatever. They're not like licensed professionals, like but they do well, right? And they have I've seen them, right? They have like a $20,000 Rolex. They like showing it off, right? That's all they do, right? They take care of it way too much. I like watches too, Kev, right? I have maybe like seven, right? Of decent watches, six Citizens and two Seicos, right? I'm wearing a Citizen right now. I look at it like this, Kev. You tell me what you think. Instead of paying 15 grand, right, for one watch that you got to be careful to polish and everything, doesn't it make sense to buy with that same 15 grand 30 like very nice watches of different
I thought you
designs?
were going to come at it from a different angle, and I like that you didn't because
Okay,
I'm going to take the other side, and I think instead of
I tell
30,
them.
you have one
Yeah.
nice one.
Okay.
All right, and
Really?
here, yes. So I thought you were going to go for that side because I think we talked about this quickly, but in the past, but I think
Uh huh.
and you know, Mr. Wonderful said I'll give him credit.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay. Tell me.
Basically,
Uh huh.
with watches, instead of
Yeah.
having 30, right? And this applies to anything. Think about everyone has
But
access.
they'll watch. They read the time. I know,
All
but
right,
Kev, it's not a
let's
car. You know.
let's
You know what
let's
I mean?
go back to watches, but let's just go to jeans first. You have probably two
Okay.
pairs.
Okay.
You probably have one or two pairs of jeans that you wear, right?
Now, yeah.
Okay, okay. But most people, they might buy 5 or 10 pairs or 15 pairs, but they only wear one or two. Why do you need those access? Same thing with everything else. You don't need as much. As a society, we overbuy crap, right?
Sure. But
So why?
we also pay way too much on crap
Okay,
as well.
okay. So why
Yeah.
not
We
have
we pay
why
way.
not have one watch that's nice instead of five that you only wear one or two? So I think the same applies to all things, right? In terms of
Kev.
wearables, and that's because guess what?
Well,
Value accrues to the more expensive one, right?
right. But what value? Kev, but it's not like it's not a car. Like I can understand when you're talking about a car, right? That has a lot value.
Think
This is a
about
watch, Kev. I mean, this is just
okay,
like
same thing.
a,
Think about
a piece
clothing.
added on. Like
Think about
okay, exactly.
and Mr.
Think about
Wonderful
a
said it.
tie.
Think about a vintage tie.
Okay.
Okay, that might go up in
Yes.
value
Okay.
over time if you have.
Ah, Kev. I mean, rarely. I mean, that's like a hopeful. You're being hopeful. That's not. People don't get vintage for that.
The
Come on. You
Hermes
know.
tie. What
Yeah.
does it cost? Whatever. Few $100, right? Might be go up in
Yeah.
value in 10 years. Um,
Yeah. Kev. I mean,
it's
I,
vintage.
I don't know. I never heard of that.
I'm
Right,
just
but I
saying.
mean, going value, like
Instead of
it'll just.
having,
Kev, it'll
listen,
like
hold on, hold on.
if you
You
bought for
know
two
how
hundred
many
dollars, it'll be
times?
200.
You know how many times on
Mm,
Wall Street back in the day,
yeah.
someone would
Uh
not
huh.
have
Tell me.
there'd be a meeting. They would not have a tie. They would go to the guy on the
Hmm.
corner selling the cheap ties, right?
They get ripped. Yeah, they get ripped. Yeah,
They
they get
buy it.
ripped. They
They
get
buy
their
it.
ass ripped.
Okay, that
Yeah.
tie probably
Hmm.
didn't last too long, because it was garbage.
Okay.
But so if you had 10 of those ties, right, it's gonna fall apart. But if you had one
Okay.
good one,
Yeah.
it might even be worth something. I'm just saying is I'm not
Yeah,
thinking
but
the
I
value
know,
of one
but
thing,
Kev, a
but the
watch. Oh,
having too much of stuff, I think is actually a negative of anything. you ever see somebody that just
Sure.
you ever see somebody that just loves clutter, right?
Right. That's, well, I know, but Kev, like,
You
we're
ever see?
conflating with,
Did you ever see
general
a
stuff.
hoarder? Did you ever see a hoarder?
Of course, Kev. What are you talking? But we're conflating it. I mean,
All right,
Kev,
so
it's a fucking watch. It's not even the size of your hand. What are
I'm
you talking about?
just saying,
You know what I mean?
why?
It's like,
I'm just saying,
it's
sometimes less is more. You might have, if you only wear one, why do you need
yeah.
10? Why do you
In
need
certain
30?
circumstances, no. I'm not saying 30. I'm okay. Instead of one
Just back
$15,000
up.
Daytona Rolex, I'm
Okay.
talking about 10. I'm talking about maybe 5 or 10 nice, because I like the timepieces, Kev. I like them. I like looking at them. I wear them when I go to
Okay.
sleep. That's
Okay.
me.
So you would
I like
wear them
different
all. You'd wear
timepieces.
them all.
That's
You'd wear
just
them
me.
all. Would you wear them all?
I not all, but ones I like. Why not? You know what I
If you
mean?
had, if you
The
had
ones I like.
seven, if you had
I like
seven,
timepieces.
if you had seven, would you wear seven?
I'm good.
You
I'm good.
would?
Yes, I have 7 right now.
And you wear
I
all
have
seven?
7 right now. What are you talking about?
And you wear them all?
Some days, I mean, yes, I do. Like, for
Some
the
days.
past 2 months, I wore this one. I just been wearing this. Yeah,
That's
I mean, for the
that's
past
how
few months, I wear
that's how
this one.
most
The
people are.
Citizens.
That's how most people are. You have your favorite, but
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I like this one. I like the blue. Maybe for a change of scenery, Kev. Like, just my own, like, weird thing. I'll wear, another Citizens or another Seiko. You know what I mean? I don't. You know what I mean? I have 7 right now. I like them. I mean, I altogether, I
yeah,
probably paid maybe $5,000 over. You know what I mean? I like them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It just, Kev. If I'm just talking about Rolex because this guy, I mean, 2 people who have a $15,000 Rolex, very nice, bro, very shiny. It's one color. It's the same thing, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I think they got it
listen,
more
they're
to
trying to
make a
fit.
statement.
Yeah, they're trying to fit
That's my point.
the
Make a
status
statement,
quo. They're trying to
right?
fit the
I'm
status
buying
quo.
the status
And
quo. I'm buying
now,
these watches for me.
listen, yeah,
You know what I
I
mean? You
think
understand,
I
Kev? I
think
buy it for me.
I think
I
when
like, you know
you
what I mean? It's
first make a little bit of money,
it's
you
different.
want to buy like that Rolex. That's what people do, just to say they have one. But you
Yeah,
know, eventually it's
exactly.
like,
That's my
who gives a
point, Kev.
shit?
Exactly.
Yeah, but
That's Kev. See, that's my point. See, I bought these watches because I like them for me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I like, for it's my own little, weird thing. You know what I mean? That's my point. I know 2
yeah.
people who have
But
expensive Rolex. I mean,
you started out with the
it just.
Omega. I think Omega is a great watch. Why not have 2 Omegas
I
in a
have
row? I
I
agree
have
with
one
that.
Omega.
Yeah, that's
No,
a good watch.
I have one Omega. I have one Omega. I
Okay.
bought it from Macy's. I bought it like
Yeah,
4 years ago. That was my first watch.
yeah.
It was a what do you call it? It was certified Macy's. It's an older one, all right, but
Hmm.
it was like 1997 blue one. I think I pull it up. It's the Seamaster, right? I paid $2,800. You know how I did this, bro? Macy's, they give you like 20% off and then another 10% off when you open a new like credit card back in
Hmm.
2020. I paid about like 2,600. That was a major purchase at the time, Kev. I was nervous. I was like, yo, man, what the fuck am I doing? Pay 2,600. I still have that watch. I'm not wearing it now
That's
because
good
it's a
value.
little old, but I have it, Kev.
That's
You know
good
what I mean?
value.
Yeah, I know, I have it.
Smartwatch.
My point to my point. Okay, so it's this one, Kev. See, this is the watch, the Seamaster, right?
By the way,
This one
did
right
you
here.
get new
But
headphones?
I didn't pay no. Yes.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
You getting
Yeah.
advanced, kid. I like it.
Yeah. I mean,
You're
yeah.
showing
No,
up. You're
because
showing me
just
up.
Bluetooth is just better.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You're like Red
Kev.
Band.
If you want, I'll get you one of these. Just send me an address here. Hmm?
Yeah, and I mean they look
What?
cool,
What'd you
but
say?
I said you're like Red Band. You know who Red Band is? Rogan's guy.
Red Man?
Yeah, Red Band. That's his name.
Oh, okay. I thought you said okay. Red
Uh,
Band. Okay.
you thought I said
Yeah.
Red Man,
No,
the
but
rapper?
yeah, Kev. Yeah, yeah. I really did, Kev. So, but you understand what I'm saying, Kev? Like, I rather no. I'm only saying it. Like, people get Rolexes just to make a statement, and who gives a fuck? That's my point. That you know what I mean? Like, you can can't you tell? Like, dealing with something like what I mean? Like, like just to make a
Yeah,
statement because the
yeah.
billionaires, they have watches you never heard of. Like Donald Trump has a unique, like, expensive watch that you never
Listen,
even
the
heard of,
real rich
right? Well,
don't
you know what I mean?
even
Like,
the real rich don't even care about that.
get
You know,
Rolex. They get like Patek
they
Philippe.
don't
I've
even.
seen those.
No,
They're
no,
like
no, no,
100 grand.
no. Those are businessmen, right? That wanna look impressive. But I'm saying
Okay, got it.
the
Okay, got it.
really wealthy,
Okay, okay.
they don't even spend too
Uh
much
huh.
on themselves on some of these stuff. Like Warren Buffett, the guy drives a 30-year-old car, 20-year-old car. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
yeah, yeah.
it's so, I don't think he's buying watches, but a good watch could go up in value. So I guess it is an investment. Gold, is worth a lot of value now. Keeps going up. So
Well, Rolex is always stay in value, right, Kev? Rolex is always stay in value. I mean,
yeah,
I know a
yeah.
Rolex always
If you
stays in
keep it in
value. I
good
get that.
condition. All right, so
Right. You
let's
could like pawn it right there.
let's go on. Last thing, we'll
Yep.
wrap it up. Musk gave
Yep. Yeah, yeah. We're 1 hour.
Starlink
Hmm.
North Carolina.
Hmm. Yep.
So basically, I think he gave it for free.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Free internet to Hurricane Milton. No, hold on. Let's see. It's not quite what it seems. I don't know. We got to look into this. I don't know if it's free, but probably is.
and what do you see? What's
It
the
makes
title?
sense.
What does the title say?
It's saying Musk's offer free internet to Hurricane Milton victims isn't quite what it seems from the Independent. So he said, okay, well, no, they have to purchase a starter kit for $400.
Okay.
See, it's not what it seems.
Okay.
Yeah,
No.
but
Hold on. They got to
mm,
purchase a starter kit,
mm.
so they got to buy the software, but then they get free internet. So that's still something, right? Still something. Meaning, if your
I don't know if it's
internet,
something.
if you got to purchase the satellite, but you get free internet service, you're still doing something. You got to purchase the equipment. You can't give that for free, I guess. But if you're down without internet, um, you order that, it comes in a few days. He's still helping out. I think that is the future, by the way, Starlink. You could put that
Look,
satellite.
Kev, they're offering free service. Kev, they're offering free service for 1 month. Okay, this
Okay.
is okay. So that's what
So
it
you
is.
save $100.
All
He's
right.
doing
It's
it for
okay. Yeah.
everyone.
So
$100 you
yeah,
save.
for Kev for 1 month. Yeah, for 1 month. Yeah, 120. Yeah, yeah. That's still.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest, Kev. I mean, that's still. I mean, people don't have it.
still
I can.
something. Still
It's bad,
something.
but yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
1 month.
yeah, I think he
You're breaking,
understands.
Kev. You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Yeah. We'll wrap
You're
it up.
breaking up.
We'll wrap it up. We'll
No, what
wrap
he
it up on
understands.
that.
What? Yeah, tell me. What he understands.
No, he understands.
Okay.
He
I know you.
understands connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
The guy has Twitter. He
Mm-hmm.
has Starlink. He gets it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the future of Wi-Fi satellites. More
Absolutely.
reliable.
I mean,
More
but Kev,
reliable.
yeah, but Kev, satellites existed before. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right? Right? It wasn't satellite phones in the 80s, right? Weren't like the original cell phones connected to satellite anyway?
No,
What it was not
I think you got to
mainstream,
check
right? I
that.
mean,
No, I don't think so. No, they were not.
yeah,
Not the same
the first
speed.
cell phone.
He's got high speed 5G, and he's sending them up through rockets. He's sending these up, and then he's getting the rocket afterwards. So it's different. But I think he understands, all of that because he owns all these companies. He understands how important connectivity is, right?
Mm,
And
yeah.
Twitter. And last thing I'll say,
Mm,
VPN is
mm,
good. People should use a VPN. Musk said this
mm,
somewhere, and the only way you get somebody to say otherwise, like you see these articles, oh, they're not good.
mm,
First of all,
yeah.
you're doing nothing wrong. Anyone's allowed to use a VPN. It had at first, I think a bad name many years ago. Like, well, why do you need a VPN? It's for privacy. That's why you need it. But the only time you see an
Mm,
article that says
yeah.
VPNs aren't good, by the bad actors that don't want you to use them.
Uh huh.
But all it could do is
I
secure your
know.
traffic.
I know.
So
I know.
it's good. Anyway, we'll wrap it up.
Yep.
Good talk. And
Yep. Yeah, Kev. This is good. This is powerful. We did a lot on here.
Thank
Hold
you.
on. Let me stop this once. Okay. Let me stop this.